You are now listening to the Warp World Podcast. Boom shakalaka.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 188 of the Warp World Podcast, the premier podcast for everything warm, cold, hot, and in between. I'm your host, Xwater, joined by my co-host, Jakku.
Hello.
And Grandpoo.
Hey.
Nice. What's up, guys?
Two in a row.
It rhymed.
Yeah.
It did rhyme.
I know. Two in a row. I know. I'm crushing it right now. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
I mean,
Like, absolutely crushing it.
Honestly,
exciting.
you've been on most episodes this year.
I mean, if we get to it, I've been on most episodes all time in this podcast.
That's true.
If we really
Yeah.
want to get to it, you know what I mean? It's just my misses are consecutive. You know, I'm a streaky shooter. I'm a Ray Allen. You know what I mean?
Totally.
Like, when I'm on, I'm on. When I'm off, I'm off.
Yeah,
Larry
man.
Bird.
Total Iverson all over, up and down, man.
Yeah,
Crazy
that-
amount of Yao
absolutely.
Ming going on around here. I'm
White
going to run
Iverson
out of
over here.
players that I know real soon.
Yeah, it just I was gonna say just people mentioning Post Malone songs at some point. Because I was like, yeah, no, I'm doing my best, Things are calm right now. So.
Yeah.
It's good. I mean, even our set, even in our team meetings, like on Tuesday, like you're more active. It's exciting. It's good to see this side of things. You're really engaged right now. So
I'm what do I want to say? I think I've been in a funk for a while, and I think like having like rock bottom funk was like weirdly the only way for me to get out of it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like a rock bottom amount.
sometimes
of
you
funk.
gotta get to the bottom before you can start climbing back up.
I felt like I
made that up, by the way.
Felt like
good.
very like I was like I've been doing like just way too much. I have been.
Yeah.
I've just been doing way too much. I am the worst person at saying no to things. I don't say no, like people ask me, I just never ever say no. I always say yes. I always say yes. And
And it burns you out, tires you out.
It does.
Yeah.
It burns me out and tires me out and just makes me hate everything and makes me not want to do anything. And it just makes it does. It just wrecks me. Like but I'm a refocused man. I'm a refocused, on the, what do I want to say? On
On the prize.
shit. Yeah.
On the
I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. Like it's like a part, I don't know. Yeah.
I definitely feel where you're coming. I feel like I battle with a low every time winter starts. The sun's like doing its thing where it's like, yo, 5 p.m. I'm clocking out.
You know what? I was gonna say it's been kind of actually weirdly sunny for the last like couple weeks too, so maybe that's the only reason. You know?
Maybe. I naturally produce vitamin D, so I don't really care about the sun. So
What do you mean by you naturally produce it?
Gingers naturally produce vitamin D.
Interesting. Like it's just like your body's like, all right, time to go. Like kind of like how we're making vegetable soup.
The sun is poison to you, so we're just do this for you.
Oh, I take vitamin D supplements. Yeah, because like Montenegro, where it literally translates to Black Mountain. Like I come from a line of mountain men. Like I need to be in the sun.
Mountain men.
Yeah.
But yeah, talking about funks, like is my funks are. I get funks too, but they're a little different. Like I'll get really hyper focused on like a video game, like Final Fantasy 11, for instance, when I'm kind of more in a funk. Like I might not like I don't want to say I don't do other work, but like my other work can definitely lack a little bit. And like maybe you guys don't notice it, but like things take a little bit more of a back seat. And it's not to say I'm not doing stuff. It's just like you're like this thing, I don't want to do this. I want to do something else. I want to do something fun. And so like, I get it. People, handle this sort of stuff all differently. But
know, I'll say just like as a personal thing, it's you specifically, Jakku, and I'd say even you to a lesser extent, Xwater, are so, you guys feel so emotionally stable to me all the time. That it's sometimes it's like intimidating admitting how low I get, you know what I mean, and how down I get, because you guys, especially you, Jakku, are so even keeled all the time. You know what I mean? And so it is kind of it's like inspiring and intimidating. Does that make sense? You know, like I wish I could do that. But so just like hearing you even say that you even have funks kind of just made me happy.
Yeah, and not because I get funks, but just that that I get it. I would say the opposite with you. Like I look to you and Xwater to a degree, but lesser. Like Xwater is like an in between of both of us. I feel like yeah. I look to you about like I don't get super excited about things like you do and emotional and like it shows and like Twitch streams especially like like I'm emotional in my mind, but you don't see it physically, and like that's hard for me to show sometimes just because it's how I grew up and stuff. And so I look to you and I'm like, I wish I was more expressive in certain things like that. And so like there's that. There's the complete opposite side of the coin. And Xwater here being perfect.
He is. He kind of is.
Just got the right balance of both. No, I can fully like resonate with what both of you are saying. Like, yeah. I have tried actively in the last couple of years to just try to be more open. I think I'm just. I think any sort of stability you pull off of me is probably just me being like, no, don't look over there.
You got like a rug and all of your emotions and bad stuff's under it. You're just sweeping it under.
Just sweeping it under.
Nothing here.
I think you have a good. You're really good at brushing off the bad off your shoulder, Xwater. I think more than most people that I've ever met, and especially me. Like it's something that I'm wildly impressed. You have like a self-confidence that I don't have. I think. I don't know.
Yeah,
it's
I definitely think that.
Yeah. I think that's why all three of us work really well. We all have strengths and weaknesses that balance each other's out, and like we work as a great team because of that. And like, it's all of our views. We have different views on things, but we typically align on the right things. And that's what makes this great. And like I've learned a lot from you, Pooh, and I've learned a lot from Xwater over the years. And like I try to be more emotional, and I try to be more like like just physical emotion and stuff, and be more open about certain things. And I've been trying that, and I think it's been okay, but like there's still work to be done. And so like I think we all make each other better though.
Yeah, and I think the cool thing to hear is like each one of us are always like striving to do what we think is better, which is cool. Like that's a big life philosophy of mine almost, where it's like if you're not like, it doesn't matter if you're good, if you're shitty, if you're skilled, if you're not skilled, like if you're trying and putting an effort towards it, that's like the coolest thing in my eyes.
Yeah, I completely agree with. I mean that's kind of like the whole, because we all suck, and as long as we try to suck less.
Yeah.
Right? Like
sucking at something's the first step at being good at something.
Constantly suck less is the goal, right?
Yeah.
That is the goal.
What's it's something that you wish you sucked less at? In particular. It could be serious, it could be casual. I wish my legs were stronger.
Oh, dude, my legs, like Johnny makes fun of me because my legs are so strong.
Yeah, dude, I can bench more than I can squat.
Oh, I can squat more than I can bench.
How does that even work?
I know.
That's so weird to me.
I know. Well, I probably could put up 275 on squat if I did it.
Yeah, because like I think I could put up 275 on a squat right now, and like I'm scrawny, you know what I mean? Like, I bet you could. I really think you could.
I probably could, but I need at least like a week or two to like stretch out, limber up, get myself ready.
Oh, wait. Yeah. All right. This is a serious response.
Okay.
But it's kind of also not a response, which shows how serious it is. Like, I can't, like, being honest with this question and answering it like with what I really would want to say is hard for me to say. Like there's a few things I'd like to improve, but like I shell that, like, I'm locking that away because, like, I don't know. It's hard for me to open up in those areas. So I wish I could be better at that.
Vulnerability, yeah.
Yeah, the first step is doing, but I'm not there yet.
I definitely feel the same way about that one too. I definitely have trouble, like, letting go of the shield button.
Yeah. What's funny is in like Smash Brothers,
I think it's higher
I don't
now.
press shield.
Yeah. I think the shield thing is higher once you become a person of the internet.
Yeah.
The internet's Shaku and the internet's Xwater and the internet. Like I know it's definitely increased my shield. I used to not the like anxiety and like self-doubt that I have now. I didn't have that before streaming. Like I didn't have that in snowboarding. In snowboarding, I was probably the opposite, where I was like probably too overconfident of my abilities. Both in that it got me hurt, and also just like I don't know, like I thought I could do everything or learn everything. Like I didn't think there was anything I can't learn. Whereas I don't know, in this space, like I have it just constantly all the time, and maybe it's because I'm new, or because there is so much that I know I don't know. There's so much, like, even just like fucking sound shit that I don't get and understand, you know what I mean? And it feels like overwhelming to learn. There could be a million reasons for that, but I definitely feel like being the internet's Grand Pooh Bear is much harder than it was just being normal ass me, as far as like the shield.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. That's super true. There's like a lot of things about you as a person that just kind of, like, you don't expect it to, but like, just, you know, it's your job. Everybody's job changes them as a person a little bit. Like, I was talking to, I think, Kate about it the other day, about how like just streaming kind of makes you develop ADHD centric habits. Like,
yes.
Think about how much you do when you're like, you're looking at chat, you're looking at OBS, you're looking at the game, you're thinking like about one-liners, you're trying to make jokes, you're doing all these things, you're training yourself to be bouncing around. So when it comes time to stop bouncing around, it can be hard.
Yeah, it's hard to just sit there and like relax. I mean, I've always kind of been a multitasker in my life, but more recently, I'm trying to be a little bit more focused on like time off and just relaxing. Yeah. I've watched a lot more shows. You know, I've been focusing on other small tasks and just focusing on those, and not being like, oh, let me reply to these messages on Discord and watch this show and this. It's like, no, I'll get to those after I'm done with this. But on streaming, yeah, absolutely, you have to be constantly doing so many things. And I mean, I'm gonna always say this, I'm never not gonna agree with this, like Mario Maker or any game like Mario Maker continues to be like the best first game, I feel like, for anyone, because it gives you those moments to look at the other things and learn to multitask. Because if you go into streaming and you're not a multitasking person, you're gonna be focused on the game and you're never gonna read chat. But Mario Maker, or a game where you die and start over and you got 5-10 seconds because Nintendo doesn't like quick restarts, that's a dream for a streamer, to be able to, like, I can read chat and reply and go back.
Yeah. Even speedrunning too is like when you get good at, like, so good at the game that you're like, you have a minute in the game where it's like, well, none of this stuff is hard, so I can read chat while I'm just like running forward and doing some jump dives or whatever.
Yeah.
When you get so comfortable with a particular game. I was finding that with the Perfect Run, because there's so much in that 8 hours that's just like, you know, it's really easy stuff, really easy levels. Yeah. So it's just like, I was super good at keeping up with my chat during that, because I had played these 3 games like for months.
You're on autopilot.
Yeah, you're on autopilot, except for the hard sections when it's like, all right. Well, I just tell them, I'm like, I'm not talking to you right now.
Yeah. Oh man, I don't know. There's lots of things I wish I was better at.
You know,
yeah.
It's like Xwater said. You know, the first step is to do it and try and suck less as you do it. Like not everyone hits a home run on their first try. Some people do, and like that's impressive stuff. You know, that's what makes people so cool, is like everyone's kind of unique and has different talents and can do different things. But at the end of the day, like a lot of stuff just comes down to practice and getting better and trying. And the first step is realizing you're not going to be the best at it and just, try. It's interesting. It's fun though. And what's really fun though is like when you share those goals or those things with friends, and they can help encouragement and help you with those things. Like, working out, that's something that I never really wanted to do. It wasn't something that I was excited for. And last year me and Johnny started working out, and like we drive each other to get better at it, and like we're correct each other's form and stuff. And it's like, I used to be like, my whole idea of like going to a gym and like having someone critique me was like, I don't want that, because I don't want someone to tell me what I'm doing wrong, because I just don't want to be wrong at this. Yeah. But like, it's a friend, and I'm getting better because of them, and that's awesome. But 2 years ago I would have been like, fuck no, I'm not going to a gym to have somebody tell me I'm doing something wrong. Now it doesn't even bother me.
Legit, I think fear of the gym in one way or another is probably keeps 95 to 98% of people out of the gym. Not like, not even laziness or anything else. I think it's legit fear of doing something you haven't done before in a public space like that.
Right.
Like,
you don't want to like go up to a machine and then like, because obviously in your own head,
wrong.
There's like everybody has it where you think the world is focused on you. That's just how the brain works. Like, you are the focal point of your own world, but you're not of everyone else's, but you think you are. So when you're at the gym and you don't know what you're doing, it's just like, it'd be like if I walked into fucking, I don't know, a cook your own fucking lasagna store for the first time in my life, and I walk
those
up,
are a dime a dozen.
Fuck you. No, but like, and I don't know what I'm doing, and I don't want to go in there and like feel like everyone is watching me and saying, you're doing this wrong, you don't know what you're doing. Like, you don't want to embarrass yourself, so you just don't do it.
It's
but gym bros are some of the most like welcoming people. I love gym bros.
The one thing I've learned about going to the gym is none of those fears are actually real. Like, the movie, TV show Gym Bro that's like sitting there laughing at you or mocking you, like that doesn't exist. But you know what does exist? Like the super old lady that's like lifting like 2 pounds on every machine, and like that's what exists. Yeah, that's what exists. You know what I mean? Like, and you don't have to worry about anything. Like there's gonna be some people in there that are fucking ripped and are insane, and you're gonna come in after them and leave before them, and like, but it doesn't fucking matter. You know what I mean? Like, they don't. That's not shit. They don't matter.
They don't. They really don't care. They're happy to see you showing up.
Yeah,
I definitely used to like look at the other people, because when I was working my office job, I would go every day after work on my way home. And I gained I put on a lot of muscle in that particular time in my life. And I remember when I started working out regularly at that gym, I was just like a regular looking dude at that gym. But man, by the end of me working out at that gym, I was like one of the biggest dudes working out in that time frame. And it was a real good feeling to walk in and be like, lifting more than that guy, lifting more than that guy, lifting more than that girl. Let's go. Running longer than that dude.
It's also like your focus is going to be so different than most of the focuses out there. Like, if your focus is just to get in shape, it's way different than like someone else's focus of getting as giant as they can. Or like me, like my focus is literally like all I want is abs. I don't give a fuck about anything else. I just want, when I take my shirt off, people look at my stomach and go, what the fuck? You know what I mean?
Right.
The ab chest, the ab chest upper arm area is the only thing I give even a slightest crap about. Yeah.
And with your whole recognition of legs, like no one cares if you skip leg days, because
exactly. They just don't
have legs anyways.
Yeah, exactly.
That's that was the long con. That's what you've been doing this whole time.
Yeah.
Man, but you know what's funny is that like these things that you do, whether it's like learning how to be fit, work out, learning how to paint, learning how to play music, that's the kind of stuff that I think it's good to do in person and stuff, but I would never want to do that shit on stream, because that's when the people come out and they're like, I don't like being corrected by people who I'm not certain are correct when they're correcting me.
Sure.
So like, if Jim Bro Cheddar walks up to me and's like, "Yo, you're squatting wrong," and I look at his legs and they look like they're chiseled from marble, I'll be like, "Okay, so what do I do?" But when like, I don't know, like
what
Danger
Jim Bro
Daddy 87
cheese
comes in and he's like, "You call that a squat?" I'm like, "The fuck?" Like me and Steve did a few back in the day in his basement, and I still remember it. It was so annoying to me that someone was like making fun of the way I was doing skull crushers, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like,
skull crushers are fun.
You bring the bar down to your head and you push it back up using your triceps. What could I have possibly done wrong here for you to say it in the Twitch chat? And yeah, I hated it.
Dude, like anytime anyone's ever done push-ups in any stream in the history of time, just a bunch of people telling them their form is wrong. Literally, no human has ever done a good
Arnold
push-up.
Schwarzenegger could be doing push-ups.
No one on a stream has ever done a push-up well enough for people. I got called out on that doing push-ups during stream kind of recently.
I was gonna MMC. They made fun of all of us, anybody who did push-ups every time, and I'm like, are you fucking looking at these guys? You know what I mean? Like, what do you want them to do? Like their chests are hitting the ground. Like, stop harassing these guys. Like, come on. When we're all at home, we're like, chest ain't getting nowhere near the ground, and we're counting that as one. Get
Everybody
out
acts
here,
like they're fucking Coach Carter when they're in Twitch chat. I want 1,000 suicides by the end of the day.
Yeah, they're sitting there. They're sitting there on their phone on their couch, slumped in there, eating a bag of chips. Like,
form's wrong.
Form's wrong, bro. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Is there a game you guys have ever wanted to play on stream but didn't, out of some sort of fear of being bad or anything like that?
I would definitely want to play more long form JRPGs, but they're just not my content, like, it's just not what people want, and I'm not good at streaming it. Like, when I'm playing Mario, I'm good at cracking jokes and running around, having fun, showing off skill. When I'm playing Fire Emblem, I'm sitting there like, the way I play that game is I spend 46 minutes on one turn because I wasn't sure if this guy's got this ability, but then I got this guy with this ability. And I sit there just thinking about it for an hour. And like, I'm sure there's tons of people who are like, just fucking move, dude. Yeah. I feel like those games are hard for me to go.
So I actually have like a fear of doing like puzzle related games because people are always like, Jakku's very smart and technical and can solve puzzles, and like potentially true.
That's
yes,
not how
but
puzzles work.
It's not how puzzles work.
Yeah.
Like, I could be staring at the wrong thing, and just with Twitch chat there, like, I don't need that. I don't need that in my life. Twitch chat.
Playing a game like Baba Is You on stream is like, that's one that like you get to World 4 and you're like, you're on a level like for a couple hours sometimes.
Me, Cliffy, and Ross played Baba Is You last year at some point. Like, it was super late, and like Cliffy was staying at Ross's for the week or something, and like they're like, "Hey, are you up?" I'm like, "Yeah." Like, we're stuck on this level in Baba Is You. You want to come over? I'm like, "Yeah, let's do it." And like, we stayed up to like 6 a.m.
Oh my God.
Playing that game. Like, we did a lot, and then like I returned the next night. And we did it again. And like, I was literally thinking of that last night or yesterday, sometime, just being like, that was a lot of fun, just hanging out with my friends and playing a puzzle game with nobody else, like watching and saying, you don't know how to do this? I did this 2 years ago and was stuck on it for 40 hours, but I know how to do it now.
The way people, the two things that drive me crazy is that like, anytime there's a puzzle and people don't understand that there's two things that can happen in puzzles. One, some people just get random puzzles just really quick. Like, it just happens where everything just falls into place for you. And that does happen, all right? That doesn't make you a genius. And two, if you've seen someone else do the puzzle, or you yourself have done that puzzle, either of those two things, you're not smarter than the person trying to solve the puzzle. You know what I mean? Like, that doesn't make you smarter.
The answer. Yeah.
Right? You just know the answer already. You're still a dumbass, jackass motherfucker. You know what I mean? That is so frustrating to me. Like, I fucking hate that so much. And it's just like, but there's just nothing you can, nothing you can do about it. Everyone's the smartest person ever. Like, you didn't get it as fast as me. Why are you even a streamer? I beat this puzzle 2 seconds faster than you did.
Yeah.
Dude, saying that though, I'm surprised you're playing chess, because like that's a game where I would feel like that. Like,
it's so legit. When I'm playing on my phone at home, because that's where I do most of it. I play on my phone at home. It's my new phone game, and I'm pretty fucking good. My elo just raises over there. I'll quit a lot of games early. Like if I just make a horrible blunder, I'll just quit out, even though I could probably win still. But I'm like really focusing on trying to make like the right moves and learn in that game.
Yeah.
Dude, when it's on stream, it's so hard because people put these moves in your head. And they also fucking suck at chess. They're worse than me at chess. You know what I mean? I that's the thing I started to realize, that these motherfuckers are worse than me at chess.
Yes.
But like, they criticize everything you do, no matter what it is. I told you should have done this.
And they're bringing the argument of when people give you advice when they're not better than you, but you have no way to know it. So you sit there thinking about it, and you have, I hate it. I hate it.
You should do what Ludwig does. And he pulls up another chess game against an expert CPU, and he just mimics their movement, and he plays as the other player. And then when he's on stream,
he's clever.
He doesn't. I don't know if he does that. I'm making that up, but you could do that. You could do that.
That's clever on you then.
Yeah, it is genius.
I was just calling him out because it's funny, but you could do that. And people are like, "Oh, Grand Pooh Bear's a chess master, grandmaster."
It's funny. I saw this like Reddit thread where some dude was like, "Man, I matched with some girl on Tinder, and like we were talking about chess, and I lied and I said I was really good, and now she wants to play. Like, what do I do?" And someone's like, "Easy. Just tell her to play white and then mimic all of her moves on an AI, and you just do whatever the AI does in response."
There's a magician, psychic, mind guy who knows, Darren Brown, who he played chess against like 10 grandmasters at the same time, and that's all he did though, is he could remember the moves of each of them, and so 5 of them went first, and he went first on the other 5. And so he just mimicked the moves across the board, and he was able to keep like the patterns in his head long enough. And I think he won more games than he lost. But like, it sounds impressive on paper, and it looks more impressive than it is. But it's still damn impressive that he kept those moves in his head to do it. And then there's also that story of the kid that went against 20 grandmasters at the same time and lost against all of them because he was a scrub at chess.
And he lost at all of them because they were all super good, and he was a dumbass kid.
He was just a kid. Yeah.
It's really funny. Can you imagine 20 grandmasters getting together in a room like, "All right, let's fucking do this"?
They murdered that child that day, and nobody went to jail.
That poor child. Chess is definitely probably like the biggest, like the hard. Well, this is gonna sound weird. It's the hardest game I think I've ever streamed. I've had a lot of fun with it during streams, but it is the hardest game to stream because it's just a really fucking hard game.
I mean, the graphics are horrible. There's been no updates, and it's bland. It's like, I believe it, because there's not a lot going on that you can commentate on other than what's happening in chat and like a few of the moves you're making. There's not the game for you to lean on to be like, look at this awesome thing I just did in the game because I moved the knight in an L shape. Oh man, PogChamp. Get some PogChamps for that movement. Like, it doesn't work like that.
Yeah. Yo, the horse just did a jump. 2 forward, 1 to the side. Oh shit.
My bishop. Hell yeah.
It's so
I know
hard.
the names.
That's you know what I like to do? I like to call them horsey in castles. Because people fucking hate it.
Yeah.
They get so mad. They're like, you don't even know what the pieces are called? I'm like, no bitch. Want to play, you know?
Call the pawns prawns. So not so much dissimilar to this, but like coding on stream. I've talked about this many times. No, never again. I do not enjoy that because it's the same thing with the workouts. And what's interesting is I feel like the more confident I am in my own coding and like gym stuff, the less likely I want to go on Twitch and share it. Not because I'm worried that I am doing it wrong, just because like I don't want to have to like, I don't know. There's just something about it. So it's like the more confident I am about this thing, the less likely I am to share it now. I feel like
I 100% agree with you. So like, I've been really excited about it. My 5950 processor just shipped. It's going to be here on Tuesday. I have all the other parts here, and people are asking me like, "Are you going to stream build again?" I'm like, "Fuck no." I don't want you assholes like ruining my fun. Like,
Absolutely,
this is like literally the top 3 funnest things for me, and I only get to do it once every like half decade, unless I have a friend building a computer. Like, I haven't upgraded my computer in terms of motherboard, processor, like anything other than like switching out a graphics card since like 2012 or 2013 or something. It's been a long time. So like, I went all in. I bought the dankest stuff. And like, I'm gonna take pictures, I'm gonna take pictures along the way, but I'm gonna jam out to whatever DMCA-able music I want. I'm gonna not have anyone go like, that's how you apply the thermal paste? Really?
You got an AMD?
Your processor's gonna burn up. Your processor's gonna burn up.
Oh, you got a stock liquid cooler? You didn't get like your custom loop?
Oh no, I definitely am not using stock cooler. Fuck that.
Not enough fans.
Yeah, but
yeah,
like,
I know what you mean.
You know, water cooler. Like, did you get a water cooler or like a closed loop from like Corsair, or did you get a custom loop? You know,
I'm doing air. I didn't want water cooling.
Oh, I've been doing water cooling for the last like 6 years now. It's been good.
I've done some research, and
one of mine.
The differences aren't huge from the research I found compared to high-end air systems, and I prefer just the comfort of knowing that there isn't liquid in there.
Yeah, I can respect that.
Yeah,
I'm not about to be like you're wrong, because you're not. I've had one air cooler. The last air cooler I got was so amazing. It was this big chunk of metal with these 2 great big fans, and like I had a window on the screen, and it's like all you could see. It was all you could see on the thing, and I was like, this is awesome.
I like generally, if you're not like super overclocking, which I mean, overclocking isn't nearly as popular as it was like 5 years ago.
Yeah, because everything's just so strong now.
Yeah, everything's so strong now, and like our hardware is outpacing our software at a certain point right now, and but the only thing I'd say is like the PC that I have that's liquid cooled, like when I put my legs on it compared to the PC that's not liquid cooled, it definitely like stays cool for me. Whereas the PC that's not liquid cooled, that's just blowing hot air everywhere, it warms my legs too. When I put my legs on it. Which, thinking about it, I probably should stop putting my legs on my PC while I stream. I accidentally hit the power button, but yeah.
But yeah, I think. As long as you got a quiet, like you've got a fan that's quiet, I think that's important.
Yeah,
most of the time, water cooling's super quiet to me.
Yeah,
so.
I invested in some quality stuff. I got like, it's one of those ones that you had like gigantic, massive fans on it, but because of the size, they don't need to spin as fast. Because of how many fins there are, it's a little bit nicer.
Houses need to incorporate these heat pipes that you can connect your computer up to, and then boom, you're good. Because all the heat from your CPU just goes through your walls. No,
that's actually a good idea.
A little bit until you realize like it's not going to make that big of a difference, I feel like, without some extra fans and whatnot. But it could work. And maybe that's like a radiator system. It's a terrible idea. This is why I don't share ideas on stream.
Quick flip.
You never know.
That's actually interesting that you said something like that, because I want to do a custom desk for my next office.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And part of what I want to do is I want to have like the PCs are on the other side of the desk basically, and they have a space to be in there, and then there's going to be like a false back, so I can like pull up like basically like a hollow space in between like where my feet are and where the PCs go, and I'm just going to be able to shove all my wires in there.
Yes, I love that.
That's my idea. Yeah, so I can just hide all my fucking wires, but like have it so it's in there, and like the heat is not going anywhere near me. It's all going out towards the rest of the room. Instead of where it currently is, which goes like right underneath my desk again,
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's like that's my new goal. Is that I want like false backs and everything. I want to get like bookshelves for my consoles and just have false backs in them so I can just start shoving wires in there because I've realized like I'm never gonna be able to organize wires. So if I can't organize them, like I just need to hide them.
You need to do, you need to get your kid to really enjoy organizing wires so you can make that like a fun activity for them. And then just be like, hey, Daddy got a new game system, hook it up. And he's like, yeah, and he organizes the wires.
Anything I know about kids, that is not going to be one of his interests.
You can
probably not.
There's things you could do.
Though.
Yeah, there's things you can do.
Like so, you know, like we give our kid the iPad every once in a while. You know what I mean? But every game he plays, like the only games he has access to, are literally games that teach you how to read. Like they're all legitimate.
What
just
a
like
sucker.
Here's a word. And he just like literally puts the letters inside the word, and then the thing repeats the word, and it tells him how to pronounce it, and tells him what it is. And he has one for that and one for counting and math, and does like little simple addition for him. And that's all he fucking has. But he gets so obsessed with these things now because they're, you know, that's like his toy there. He has no idea. We just conned him into learning. Like his favorite game is just reading now, you know.
That's great.
So you can absolutely do that. It's just the problem is like once I give him Mario, there's no going back. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Once you get him on the good stuff.
Yeah, you can absolutely get him to just, you know, be fixing your wires for you as an activity. That could totally be something you could do, but that's all you can give him access to is the problem. Like he can't have access to anything else.
That's why you have multiple kids. You got the wiring kid and
yeah. Now you're thinking.
Of course, yes.
Yeah, that's genius.
Yeah, but and then the other thing, and you know, it's brought up in our chat, is wire management is just so difficult. As soon as you have to add something new, even if you do think it out,
true.
You almost always still have to change something, and it's like, what's even the point?
Yeah, so like if you have a bunch of like the Velcros and shit all used, like it's completely, as soon as you add something or need to move something, it's done. Like the whole system's fucked. You know what I mean? And that's the problem I had. I actually did have everything in my spot right now Velcroed, and it all looked really good. But then I had to move one thing, and then I had to unplug one camera, and then it just, you know, it slowly got worse and worse and worse, and now it just looks like ass.
Yeah, and eventually you're just like, okay, you know what, this is enough. Time to rerun everything. But you're like, you're good for about a week, and then you're like, oh, I got this new thing. This is so cool.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no. So, yeah. Wireless technology, as much as people love it and hate it, you know, two sides of that coin. Like, I anything wireless, as long as it doesn't interfere with other wireless things, always so much better in my opinion.
Yeah, and I can't wait to like have my keyboard and mouse die so I can replace them with like some quality wireless ones.
Yeah, that's the exception for me. Like I have both wired keyboard and mice for various reasons.
That's fair. I don't game on PC enough to be worried about it though for myself. Yeah.
The thing is at the studio, my Corsair mouse is wireless, but it can also be wired. And I use it because that's also my travel mouse. So like when I'm traveling and I'm with a laptop or something, it can pair over Bluetooth.
Yeah.
I don't want to be plugging a cable into a Microsoft Surface or a MacBook or something stupid. So
that makes sense. Yeah. There's a lot of like really nice Logitech pieces that I was looking at, and I'm like, ooh, I like that, but I also like having $300.
Yeah. Just wait till wireless CPUs, you guys.
Wow, that'll be
Put
something.
it anywhere.
I mean, I do fucking hate wires, and I do like welcome our wireless future.
Imagine if power was wireless. Wouldn't that be crazy?
There is some wireless power. What are you talking about? Yeah.
Imagine if most fuck you guys.
so what you're talking about is like large devices, like your TV and your computers and your fridges and stuff. And there's been concepts for years, even shown off at CES, where you have a room in your house that is, you know, the size of a closet, and it basically has like an equivalent of like a Tesla coil, and it's emitting enough power to power these devices around it, such as your TV and your phones and all that stuff. And, it should be perfectly safe, but you tell consumers there's something wirelessly powering these large devices, they're like, oh no. And like, maybe it fries your dog once in a while.
Maybe
Is
it
that
fries
the
your
price
dog.
you're willing to? Maybe it fries. I don't know, but it's very ineffective, is what it comes down to. We haven't been able to get high power at an efficient rate, where like you're not just throwing so much power at it that enough makes it to power these devices. And so until we can get there, we're kind of stuck with like this, the iPhones and stuff, low power wireless charging, which it's basically touching, which is still damn cool. But yeah, I can't wait for the day where like just about anything in your house can be powered, and you got to watch out for people out just on the outside of your house charging their phones through your walls.
Someone just cozying up to your balcony, just like, yo, Joe, I'm at like 6%, man. I just need like 5 minutes.
Yeah, but yeah, no, like I think we'll get there. Or in the next like 20 years, we'll probably start to see that technology, because yeah, it's cool, but it's not something that people are definitely like, I need. Wireless communication is way much more important than wireless power.
Yeah, that's true and fair. How far out are we from having like reliable displays on like wireless, like instead of having it be like connected by DisplayPort or HDMI or whatever?
HDMI. Yeah,
we're getting there. I think we're like I ordered this. I kind of swore off tech Kickstarters, but this one really appealed to me, and it was a wireless Bluetooth or wireless HDMI dongle that you could plug into just about any HDMI output port, and then you plug the receiver in, and it would transmit 1080p 60 frames, they claimed, up to like 15, 20 feet, something like that. And I got it, and I was like, I've tested wireless HDMI before, and it's been shit, and it's required a lot of power. This literally powers off of 5 volts, and it worked. Like, yes, it had some hiccups when I went very far or some certain devices, but like we were testing around at the studio, and like I could go about 10 feet with a wireless or with a handheld digital camera, my Sony camera, and it was displaying to the TV with like 200 millisecond delay between audio and video, and like that's acceptable. And that's like, it was so tiny. It wasn't much bigger than these Rode mics that I have. And so I think we're getting there. Obviously 4K and 8K, you're going to be waiting a while, but 720p, 1080p, I think we'll get there in the next like 2 years. You'll see much better technology in that space that is acceptable for people.
I've yet to look at an 8K screen, I think.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm waiting for the 16K, because that's once we pass real life resolution.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's like I'm perfectly cozy at like 1080p, honestly. Yeah.
Dude,
a lot of people are.
And
it's really funny thinking about TVs. Me and Johnny had this conversation not too long ago. But like, I remember I worked at Circuit City when tube TVs were still sold.
Yeah.
Like, you were still buying tube TVs, and maybe you were splurging for that plasma or that thin screen or whatever, flat screen
DLP,
they call it, right?
Those DLPs, yeah.
Ooh,
and
wow.
or the
God,
rear
those
projection,
sucked.
the rear projection big screens, right?
Oh,
rear
yeah, we
projection
had
big
one of
screen.
those, dude. I remember
Yeah.
I
that
had
thing.
one of those.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was my first high def TV.
Yeah.
That was my first 720p. Dude.
That was only 20 years ago, And then like I remember when 1080p came out, it was probably 2004 era, around there, 5, 6, something like that, where it was kind of being pushed a little bit more and being like, all right, cool, but like we'd advanced so far now past that, and like you think about like TVs in the 90s, yeah, they started looking better. CRTs, like obviously we all know some CRTs are better than others, but like the technology between like the 70s and the 90s, like you could get a TV from the 70s and you were perfectly content with it in the 90s.
Yeah.
Not necessarily the case in 2000 to 2020, but 2008 to 2020, most people are still content.
Yeah.
I'd say that. I'd agree with that. Yeah, I mean, like, honestly, I still have the same TV. My same TV I got in 2007 is still in my home in use.
Yeah.
Not our main TV by any means, but I mean, the other thing too is like we talk about this. TVs are just so goddamn cheap now.
Oh, they're so cheap.
Stupid cheap.
I
They're
was
so
looking.
goddamn cheap.
I was
like,
just.
That's
I
why
just.
you're replacing them now is because they're so cheap. Like
Yeah.
every TV you get now too, it's like dude, you can spend $500, get 60-inch smart Sony super refresh rate 4K TV. And you'll get it home. You'll realize that there's nothing no 4K content to watch anywhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Your internet's not good enough to stream 4K from Netflix.
Yep.
But you got it. You'll be ready to go.
Yeah. Well,
So-
it reminds me of like our TwitchCon days too. Like renting a TV from the expo or renting a TV in general costs more than just going to buy like a 50-inch TV for
Yeah.
$200 and then giving it away. It was cheaper
Yeah.
to do that. And it's like,
Yeah.
why wouldn't we do that?
Right.
Yeah.
Like that just it's so silly. Like if you told me in 2004 like that 50-inch TV is $200 and it's got connections with Wi-Fi and has streaming for YouTube and Twitch and all these things, I'd be like, what the hell's Twitch? What's YouTube? But I'm in. So, and I think that's what it is. It's like, yeah, they got the resolution, but they have all these services built in now too. And I'm glad to see TVs kind of adopting the same sort of operating system, or at least the same services, so that you don't have this divide where it's like, oh, well, I bought this TV, but I don't have these smart channels and these smart things. So that's kind of cool. But yeah, it's interesting. TVs they're increasing at an incredible pace, but consumers are just like, I don't really need it, but it is cheap.
I'm glad we're at the point of going like from 4K to 8K, because like I can have my comfortable like whatever 1080p 144 hertz screen at an acceptable price now. Like that's my ideal monitor at this point is 1080p 144 hertz. For my gaming monitor, and then for my TV, like it goes 4K. I can't say I've ever like really noticed the difference on it when I'm watching like a 4K thing or a 10. I bought the NVIDIA Shield Pro, and it has like the 4K HD upscaling thing. And like I remember I spent like an evening turning it on and off, being like, okay, which one is it? Is this it? Is that 4K? Is this for which one of these? Okay. And like I put the little line in the middle of the screen so I can look between it. I get all close to the TV and I'm like, which one of you is the 4K side?
Yep.
The only time I used it right when I got my PS5 and couldn't tell the difference, honestly. And I know some people say they can, but it's definitely not the same as when you went from your old school CRT to the first time you saw 720p.
Yeah.
Which blew my fucking mind.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like I was just like, holy shit, these people actually look like this. They have wrinkles on their face.
Right.
I'm like, oh my God, how was I even seeing the football before? How was I watching sports? You know?
What's crazy, I remember as a kid when I don't even know how I got it, but I had an S-Video Super Nintendo connector.
Yo. Yeah.
And I remember plugging that in and be like, holy shit, this looks so much better.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
like that was on CRTs, and I don't even know how I got that cable. It's just I still have it too, which is crazy. But yeah,
Nice.
The refresh rate is definitely something you notice over the resolution. That said, there was a monitor I saw just the other day, XR, that's brand new, because monitors, they get updates every now and then too. 185 refresh rate, 2K resolution.
Wow.
And I'm like,
Yeah, I've been seeing
don't need that.
65 more often lately too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, mine overclocks to 165 on mine, which I have it too, because why not?
Oh, cool.
But like this was a 34-inch monitor too, and I'm like, I don't really need 34-inch, but that kind of takes up. I could use 127-inch on the side and one big 34-inch now. I don't know. But monitors, man.
Yeah. You know, something that actually has been really hard for me is finding a new monitor that's not like 28 inches. I feel like all
I
new
had that problem
monitors-
too.
Yeah. All new monitors are really, really big. Like I want 20 to 22, no bigger than 24.
Yeah.
And you can't find those anymore. Like they just don't exist, it feels like. Yeah.
Yeah. I before I upgraded to my monitors, and I upgraded these monitors like 4 or 5 years ago at this point, I feel like. I had three 24-inch 1080p monitors, and those lasted me quite a while. And then I upgraded to these 27-inch 2K, 144, 165 hertz, and they've been great. I was looking. I was tempted to get a third one, and I looked at it, and the price has gone up. It's like $400 more than what I paid for it if I wanted to buy it. I'm like, what the hell?
Right now, in particular, shit is wild. Yeah,
it is.
Like even you know how like the go-to streamer cam, the Logitech C920.
Yeah.
Yes.
Even those, I remember buying one on like I have like 3 or 4 lying around because when they go on sale for $40, I buy it. Dude, they don't do that anymore. They're like defaults $40-$50 more than they were when I bought that, like when they were full price.
That's the pandemic. That's all webcams.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's webcams, right? Yeah, everyone needs one. But even like people buying monitors for their home offices. There's like every computer, home office computer supply, I feel like is just in higher demand. And fuck, I want these fucking extroverts to go back into the world so I can have my computer parts at a good price again.
We're never going back. We're staying.
It's gonna be weird, man. It
is. I'm excited just because there's been like this has been a perfect wake up call for businesses that have always been like, there's no way we can go online and have remote workers, and now it's like, oh really? We've had record year. We've been amazing at this. We're forced into it. You can't use that excuse anymore. What's the real reason?
Yeah.
Is it because you had to do it? You're gonna force other people to do it? That doesn't fly anymore.
Yeah.
But yeah, it will be interesting. I'm excited for the new world of internet commuting, and especially, I Starlink, I bring it up so often, but, and I mentioned it to Pooh prior to recording, and I tweeted about it, but like, I got my home set up so like I have redundant internet now. So like my Comcast is my main and my Starlink is set up on the roof, and it went out. Comcast went out because it does during a call with Ross today while we were testing for the Tech Talk tomorrow. By the way, Tech Talk, Warp World staff at 3 p.m. Central for everyone listening. For everyone that's listening to this on Monday, you've missed it. How dare you? It will be on YouTube. Probably techtalk.warp.world. But
it's
Regardless,
yeah.
I didn't even realize I dropped the connection for like a split second, and it popped right over to the Starlink, and I was streaming 2 feeds to him. Was merely a blip. I didn't realize it till an hour later. So exciting.
That is really awesome. I'm so excited about the fact that you have satellite internet. It's so cool. I can't wait to see how much it progresses.
I know he's excited because he talks about it every chance he can get.
I really do. Yeah. And it's funny because satellite internet used to be such a joke. It was such a joke. It's like satellite internet sucks. And now it's like, you're excited about satellite? Yes. Excited about Starlink satellite.
I knew somebody who lives out in the county here, and they were like complaining that they can't stream because the county doesn't get good internet. And I was like, you ever think about satellite internet? They're like, dude, that's even worse. So I'm like, oh, I don't know. Just yeah.
It's crazy though. It's exciting times. We're in a new era. Like, there's no SpaceLink stock, so I bought some Virgin Galactic. I don't know. It's close enough for now. I just like the stock.
Okay, while we're talking new tech, it's as good a time as any to shove it in. You guys see the rumors for the new Nintendo Switch model?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm in. Give it to me.
Yep.
4K.
It's 4K.
4K that I'll never use. Yeah, I can't wait.
7-inch screen.
7-inch screen is hot.
7-inch screen. So that's a little bit bigger than the current one, and it's like OLED screen or whatever. Seems cool. I want to know. Oh, I really just want my games to run at a consistent high frame rate, though.
They should, because emulators are able to do that already.
Right?
Well, I think that's part of why they're keeping handheld at 720 too.
Yes.
Because I think that's going to really just regulate the handheld. Because I have to feel like if it can do 4K with a fucking fan on it, like that's all the dock is, an oversized fan. Like I have to feel like it could probably pump out 1080 without the
dock even have a fan?
Well, that's
the current dock doesn't. Whatever this new model might.
Does. Yeah.
Well, isn't that all the dock does though? Is it just
no? All the dock does is supply it power.
No, dude, the dock is like that plastic around the dock is hollow. There's like
It's-
a
yeah.
little
Yeah.
a little
It's
piece
just
at the
power.
bottom that's just the connector.
Yeah. It's power, USB port, and HDMI out.
The only fan on that bad boy is the one on the top of the Switch. That
the
grill.
only fan
Anyway.
on that thing is the one holding it.
What I'm saying is it's just giving it a little bit more power one way
Yeah.
or another, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's all
Yeah,
it is.
exactly.
So
What
yeah, I mean, I feel like the idea is that they're trying to regulate it
Yeah.
to 720 so they can regulate the frame rate.
Yeah.
personally.
Also the screen. That way they don't have to put in a more expensive screen.
Mhm.
But so this is probably gonna happen. So world records for Mario Odyssey and Breath of the Wild, they're all gonna be free on launch, and they're gonna make a new category for Switch Pros because I bet you loads are gonna be faster.
That is, dude, when the new Mario Odyssey update came out, when they did that overclocking during cutscenes, like I remember I was watching Spike run Darker Side and he was telling me, he's like, yeah, man, like that patch gave like 2 minutes to everybody. Like you just got 2 minutes.
Yep.
It was nuts.
Fuck, I should rerun that game, man. I could probably get back on a decent run then. You know? Like,
yeah, you'll save a solid 30 seconds on any percent. Then you got to get within 30 seconds of your PB, which is like,
ugh.
yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah,
Actually,
man,
that's probably pretty easy now considering how early I was running that game. but-
that's true. There's so much out there, and yeah. But man, like, I really hope whatever they do, if they give us a 4K dock that's running 30 when they could have given us a 1080 dock that could have ran 60, I would be so upset.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Oh yeah. I'm definitely not willing to trade 4K for frames. Like
Right.
that's one thing that like frames are more important to me than resolution always. Like frames
Always.
are everything. Yeah.
like when I'm playing a video game on a bad computer, I take the slider and I put it all the way towards performance. I don't give a shit how it looks. It needs to play good.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And I
I
think
completely agree.
Nintendo's usually on that same page.
Yeah.
They're more about making sure it plays well than making it look good. Wii's a pretty good example of that. But who knows? You know, it's all new people. It's all children making the switch over in Japan now. It's none of the old dogs.
We'll see what happens. It's looking like Samsung's screens are like slated to start
June?
production in June. So they're supposed to be in Nintendo's like
July.
factories by July or something. Yeah.
I mean, September launch potential, but probably November, December.
Yeah, possible holiday launch for a new version of the Switch. Man, I hope they do like Game Boy Advanced. You know, I hope they just make it play Switch games, but make it an actually like more powerful new console kind of thing.
I think we're gonna get new 3DS.
I think we'll
type.
see new 3DS style as well. Yeah.
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 It'll just be like it plays old Switch games, and some games will be really good on it, and here's some games that only work with it, but very few. And it's probably be like a developer thing, and Nintendo will probably never actually do it. They'd opt to make a really crappy looking version and a better version over that. But
yeah, Nintendo probably wouldn't want, because that's just like gonna hurt software sales at that point.
do you think we're gonna see any like launch titles, like a huge launch title with it, like Metroid Prime 4?
We're gonna
Is that the secret?
Yeah, honestly, it would be the time, right? Like if they push this hot new screen 4K console, whatever, and they don't have like a cool title to go with it, it's not as cool, right?
F-Zero would be a perfect one, just to be like, to show off the true speed of the new system. Captain Falcon's back.
That would
maybe
work.
that's why they haven't. Maybe that's why they haven't been doing anything. You know what I mean? So they've just been hoarding it off and waiting for it. So, yeah. I don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen with it. Either way, easy buy. Easy buy for me.
Absolutely.
Easy buy. I'm totally into having a more powerful Switch. It's we're at 50. We're at almost 4 years. Just past 4 years.
Yeah,
it was like yesterday.
It was yesterday.
Yeah.
Just past 4 years of Switch. So I mean, I am all.
Your body is ready.
Yeah, my body is ready for
Yeah.
some sort of upgrade here to the Switch. It was an underpowered system 4 years ago, so my body is definitely ready. You know,
Yeah. How long did we have the Wii U before the Switch came out? What, 5 years?
5 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're usually really good on like the 5-year, like time for a new system. But
Yeah,
hey,
but
I not happening this time.
No,
it's
the
skewed
Switch
because
is-
it's a handheld
Yeah.
too, and
Yeah.
they're like
Yeah.
that's the thing. They're the
We're
home
in
console
uncharted
every 5
waters.
years. They're handhelds every 20 years we get an update.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it has been very different when
Yeah.
it comes to the home consoles. Yeah, I totally
Yeah,
agree
we
on
get like
that.
10 years on them. So a nice mid upgrade, similar to what Sony has done and Microsoft has done in prior generations. Like, all right, PlayStation 4 Pro, here you go. Switch Pro, cool. And then, give us 3 more years, 4 years, and then next Switch. Sure. Or not Switch, but whatever it is. Yeah. It will be a good time. I'm excited, and like I haven't even really played my Switch in a long time. I saw you playing Thousand Year Door, and it reminded me, like, man, I didn't even play the new Paper Mario on the Switch yet. Like, when I get into my funk where I need to play some games, I've got some bangers to play.
Yeah, man. I love that Paper Mario game. Like if there was a game that I'm excited for you to play, it's definitely that one because it's so good.
Yeah, I was gonna say G likes it a lot too. She liked it
Yeah.
a whole bunch.
Yeah, I use Gina as like, should I play Paper Mario games at this point? If she likes it,
There's only a few she doesn't like. I mean,
Yeah.
but she can tell you that and those are the games, and then Breath of the Wild are the only ones I have ever seen her go like super ham on. She's replaying, and we were talking about last week.
Yeah.
She's replaying Breath of the Wild right now, and it's so fun. Like she would be such a fucking amazing streamer if she had any desire to be on the internet at all, but she doesn't because she is so funny while she plays.
she could be a VTuber.
Oh my god! Oh, that's actually not a horrible idea.
That's why they call me not a horrible idea, Jakku.
Yeah. That's definitely how I describe you. I'm like when people are like, "What's Jakku?" I'm like, you know what? His ideas aren't that bad. Like,
When
most
you
of them,
have an
not that
idea
bad.
that sounds dumb but is actually the best. Let's
Mhm.
sell ghosts.
The business that keeps on giving.
But now that we mentioned Breath of the Wild real quick, we talked about it the other week about why Breath of the Wild is one of those games that has won over the non-intense gamers. And I think I figured it out. Breath of the Wild compared to like anyone with gamer brain who's been playing games for like 10, 20, whatever years, like we've played the games enough times to know like, okay, I see a door and I see 3 torches. Obviously, I gotta find a fire and light them, or like I see a slightly up piece on the ground. Obviously, I gotta step on it. It's not moving down. Okay, I need something heavy. So like, it's all these things that are just like gamer brain. Breath of the Wild, though, when it comes to these things, to these challenges it puts in front of you, lets you solve it anyway. Like, there's so many dumb solutions to every puzzle that it doesn't matter if you suck at video games, you don't know what you're doing, or if you're not familiar with the world. If you're like, I'm going to jump this gap by blowing myself up over it, and it works, then you're just like happy because you're like, your dumb idea worked. And you're like, what?
It's like what we did in Raft last night.
Exactly. Yeah. That brought us so much joy because it was so dumb, but it worked.
Let me, so I mentioned this. I replayed Link to the Past recently. And like when Zelda is transported to the Golden Land and the wizard goes behind the curtain, like there's no context clue other than him going through the curtain for you to attack that with your sword. Like, I don't know how as a kid I knew to do that.
Right.
I don't think
You're
somebody
sitting there
showed
like,
me. But
well, fuck, I guess he left. I guess I'll go explore then.
yeah. Like, how were you supposed to know how to do that?
Yeah. Does he say it in the text box? Like, I'm going to the balcony. Please don't chase me or something.
Yeah. Don't rip my curtains up with your sword. Like, there's
it's
nothing.
not like there was anything before that
Yeah,
on a wall.
it's not
that
a
you
typical
cut with your
Nintendo
sword.
game.
Yeah.
Yeah, almost any other Nintendo game will have like had you do something to be like, oh, this is like that one time. And only later on in the game, when you're in the third dungeon in the Dark World, do you have to do that to vines.
Yeah,
and like,
yeah.
That too is also like, wait, what am I supposed to do? But it's a little bit more like, okay, I've done something
You
similar.
did it
So
with the curtain, so you remember.
Wow, that is funny. That is funny because, like, thinking about it as a kid, I definitely was stuck there for a while, not
Yeah.
knowing what to do at all. And I think the only thing that made me realize it was just like slashing everywhere I could.
Yeah, just
You know
walking
what
around the
mean?
room.
I think that's what I did
everywhere
too.
I could,
Somebody's gotta
slashing
work.
everywhere I could.
Yeah.
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 You
I think
know,
that's what I did. So
Yeah, that's really funny. Yeah, and that's actually a really good point. There's not many things I like. I mean, I like when games do that, but
Yeah.
that is very un-Nintendo thing to do, and I'm sure they've been yelled at. I'm sure whoever made that decision got yelled at over the years. Like I bet they use that example in like
In their-
slides
yeah.
about what not to do in a Nintendo game. You know,
they probably do. They probably had so many calls to the Nintendo hotline that day. And like,
Yeah.
makes me
yeah.
wonder, like, if you were like, and obviously people have played this game blind on Twitch, but like if the internet was where it is now in terms of bandwidth and being able to stream games, but like, you know, technology wise, everything else is kind of lacking and in games and stuff. So Super Nintendo was being streamed for the first time, and Link to the Past just came out. Like, how many people in Twitch chat would be stuck right there trying to backseat, be like, I don't know what to do either. Like,
Yeah.
it's so interesting. But yeah, I bet you're right. They probably do use it as an example. At least somebody uses it as an example of like bad game design at that point.
Yeah.
Like
I
you
would,
got to
I
set
would,
something
I would
up.
guess.
Like what I could understand is if like maybe in the cutscene of the beginning of the game when it's going through the story, you see a soldier do that,
Yeah.
and like that's your clue. That would have been cool.
Or even if earlier in that dungeon you just have
You
a
came
curtain
out of a
wall you
curtain.
have to get through, and it shows like a person coming in and out of it, so you like are baited to cut it, you know?
Yeah. Or like you're in a small hallway and there's enemies coming at you and you're swiping and you're seeing you're hitting the curtains on the side of the wall and you're like, oh,
Yeah. Oh, that's a
Like
great
anything
idea.
like
Yeah,
that.
enemies coming in from both sides, and you have curtains above and below, and you're just kind of panic swiping.
yeah,
Yeah, that's good. Damn, I
Yeah.
like that.
man, we're game designers.
We're game designers.
Oh, no, but yeah, it's, I don't know, stuff like that's fun. And like as a gamer and someone that's done it, it's like, oh yeah, this is easy now. But man, people going through that for the first time now, I feel for you.
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
Oof.
you
All
guys
right.
hot about anything?
Yeah, but none I want to talk about here.
All right.
I don't
we
know.
got-
I mean, oh man, I haven't been too hot lately.
I mean, I'm a little hot by IKEA. I'll share this. Like
What do you
it's
got? Yeah.
What did IKEA do?
Yeah.
exactly what IKEA do, right?
What did
All right.
IKEA do?
I'm on. All right. So this is our hot take. I'm on a Internet of Things kick right now for my house again. Technology has gotten to a point where I'm excited about it again because I got into it way back when it was like fresh and it sucked. Like it was cool, but it sucked. Now there's a lot more integrations. There's a lot more flexibility of things, and things just are amazing. And it's so much fun using voice assistants and be like, hey, turn off those lights.
Yeah.
Okay, good. They didn't trigger. No, I don't have one in the office. But so I'm like, okay, well, you know what? My blinds are kind of old, and I'm like, I should get new blinds. And I started looking, and like, there's a lot of smart blinds out there that can raise and lower and stuff. And I'm like, all right, that's cool. And some are super expensive. Some are, and then IKEA is like, we're not super expensive. We're a little bit more than typical blinds from IKEA. We look okay, and we don't break the bank. So I'm all right. I'll buy these. And the IKEA near me, 20, 30 minutes away, didn't have all three sizes or the two sizes I needed. They only had one size and I need two types. The one further from me did have them, but they're like, hey, you know what? We can ship it to you for $10. It'll be there Thursday. And I'm like, all right, that's cool. Because I don't want to drive an hour and then an hour back. That's definitely worth $10 to me. And I was all set to, get them today and potentially install them today. And I get the text like, hey, your order's shipped. I'm like, okay, good. Because like, it's local pickup. They pick up from a store and drive it to you, I assumed. Start taking a look at the thing, and it's like, FedEx, we got your shipping label. We're in Ohio. I'm like, there ain't no way they're coming tonight. So I call the FedEx, or I call IKEA, and get a nice gentleman that's like doesn't care really. They don't, but he's nice enough, and he's like, no, it's been delayed. I'm like, well, I mean, like, is there anything you do? He's like, I can cancel your order. I'm like, I mean, like, refund the shipping. He's like, no, it's gonna get there. I'm like, yeah, but it said Thursday. Like, the whole reason was to have it today. Saturday's not that big of a deal, but like, it says Thursday. The text says today. Everything says today except FedEx. It's like nothing I can do. So that got me a little hot. Just I
hate that shit, dude. I like when the same thing on Amazon when it says Amazon Prime and then you get it and it's like, that's not fucking Prime.
Right.
You're not getting here in 2 days. And it's like, I understand shit happens and it wouldn't be a big deal if you didn't tell me that it was going to happen. It's one of those things that I wasn't expecting. I didn't expect same day service until you told me I could get it. Yeah,
exactly. I just wanted to be informed, but I had to go out of my way to like ask and be told, yeah, there's a delay. Like I didn't build my day around it, but I did like, I was making sure that everything was ready. I'm like, okay, make sure I'm home for the delivery and stuff at the right times and stuff. And yeah, I just plan my stuff around a little bit, and it is always FedEx. Like almost any time I have issues with shipping now, it's because of FedEx.
Fucking
and
FedEx,
I've had so
man.
many things shipped FedEx recently, and I'm like, I wish I could pay more for that not to be the case. But yeah, it got me a little hot, and it's not that big of a deal at the end of the day. I can install them on Saturday or Sunday, but I was excited. New toy, wanted to set all this stuff up, but yeah.
Dude,
it's just that expectation.
I'm in the same boat. I was like, I have everything for the processor, and the processor doesn't arrive till Tuesday, and it shipped like on last Monday.
Well, I feel especially bad for you because you've ordered that processor 6 months ago.
Yeah, it was in November I ordered it, and now that
you've
it's
been
like
waiting.
Dude, I'm streaming through my weekend so I can take my Wednesday off and just spend all day just dorking out building it. Like, if it doesn't arrive on Tuesday, I'm gonna have someone's number. Yeah.
Yeah. You're throwing those hands. Yeah. And like the thing is, like, yeah, I could have canceled the order and been like, I'll just change it to a pickup, and I could have dropped the hour if it was that big of a deal.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I'm not wasting 2 hours of my time to go and drive there.
It's not worth
to
it.
do it. It's not that big of a deal.
Mm-hmm.
And like, but yeah, it's a little hot. It's something we had.
Yeah. It's nice. It's a nice temperature.
Fuck you, shipping companies.
Yeah.
Fucking FedEx.
My mind went to me. You know what I thought?
Get your shit together.
I'm like, man, I wish I cared more about shipping so that I could start my own shipping company. Like, I
think that about a lot of things, dude.
Right.
God, that would be a nightmare, though.
It would. At no point do I want to start a shipping company, but I'm like, man, if I was even remotely interested in this space, look out, FedEx. I'm coming for you.
That'd be a pivot.
Gonna send you a first class delivery to bankruptcy. All right. We don't have any questions this week, according to my co-host Xwater here.
Yeah,
so
I didn't see anything at least.
So maybe we got email issues. We're good on it. We're double check it, and we're answer them next week if we do. But that's okay. I think we had a good episode.
Yeah, we'll expect plenty next week, right, listeners?
Yeah.
Just shame them a little bit real quick.
Yeah, and another quick shout out for everyone listening to us live on Twitch. We are doing another stream tomorrow at 3 p.m. Central on the same channel, Warp World Staff. We're going to be going over OneUpCoin, the OneUpCoin service that Warp World built, and has been running for streamers for a number of years now. We're going over the technical details. We're going over the streamer details. We're going over the philosophy of why we created and what we look for in services that we build. I'm going to be joined by both Grand Pooh Bear and Xwater, so it's like your second podcast of the week. It's like a double dipping.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. But it's going to be a little bit more structured. We have slides. I freaking built slides. I got some help from Mr. Disagree and Ross. And so, it's going to be a good time, and we hope to see you all there.
Yeah. It's going to be a good time. I'm very excited for tomorrow. And for podcast listeners not live, you can catch it on YouTube if you missed it.
Yep. Talk.warp.world.
Yeah. Other than that,
hopefully Saturn listens to this so we can set it up.
Yeah, we'll find out. We'll find out if you set it up or not.
Somebody will email us. But yeah, we're excited for it.
Tech Talk not set up at warp.world.
Oh, do it, please. All right.
All right.
You guys have a
before
great
we
night.
go, I'm going to say a quick thank you to the Patreons for Patreoning to us. We love you. We appreciate you. And yeah, up, down, left, right, any way you point at it. It's dope of you guys to do that.
The way you said it was kind of romantic too.
It was.
Oh, good. I hope they feel appreciated because they are.
They really are.
Yeah. All right, but that's episode 188 in the books. Thanks for listening, everybody, and we'll catch you for the next one. 112 away from the big 200. Getting close.
Ooh,
yeah.
we gotta have a special.
Ooh, you know what? We will. This time, we will.
I believe it.
Yeah. All right. Have a great week, everybody. Thanks for listening. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.